Cool, man. Well, congratulations on your new latest single, Cadillac. I want to
Thank you
get
so
before we
much.
get into that though. Here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passions. I want to know where your passion for music came from that led you on this amazing musical journey. Was a certain album you heard, certain live performance you saw, or something else was natural for you as a child?
So, I mean, it was kind of a journey, but oddly enough, I'd say the first stepping stone on that journey was Guitar Hero, believe it or not.
Nice.
So when I was like 9 or 10 years old, kind of when it came out, or I think they were up to Guitar Hero 2 or 3 or whatever, and I had it for the Wii. And I remember I used to play it all the time, and my dad was like, "Man, if you just spent half as much time learning the real guitar as you did playing that, then you'd actually be good at it." So a year later, on my birthday, I got a guitar, and I kind of never turned back. But I'd say that a lot of my music taste probably comes from him. You know, he listened to The Wall with me, you know, cover to cover. You know, he was a big into Boston and kind of a lot of those 70s bands like Bad Company and stuff like that. Personally, I kind of grew more into the Steely Dan kind of yacht rock side of things. And then at some point I found Tame Impala, and that's what brought me back into the 21st century. But yeah, so it's kind of been a ride, but it started with Guitar Hero, funny enough.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So let's get into the actual writing the song for Cadillac. I always like hearing stories. Was it like a riff that came up first or an idea for the lyrics? You know, how do you put the song
Sure.
together with the
So
band?
have you seen the video?
Yes, yeah, I want to get into that later. Yeah.
So the car that's in the video is the car that the song is about.
Oh,
It is about
really?
it's
The
about
LSU
that car.
247 one. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. So that's my best friend's car, and he's had
Oh.
it for I don't know, probably about 10 years, but it's never run. He just has it, and I hadn't even seen it. He had it in, like, a storage unit and whatever. So one day I just called him up and I'm like, dude, I'm coming over. I'm bringing some starter fluid, and we're gonna bring something to pump up the tires, and we'll get it running. So we went over, we got it started, and there we are riding this thing with like no plates, no registration, no nothing, like 50-year-old tires, like all this stuff. But you know, we're in a 19-foot long bright red Cadillac with fins on it. The amount of heads that were turned was like unreal. People just love it. So, and you know, you look in the mirror and you see all like 19 feet of the. I want to stress to you, this car was the size of a Suburban. Or like
Yeah.
an Escalade, but it's only a two-door. It's massive. It's about 6,000 pounds, and I know that because while we were filming, not to get too into that yet, but the car died on us, and I had to push it. So
Oh.
that's another story. But as I was driving that car again, totally riding dirty with no plates, like that plate that's in the video, it's not a real plate. I
Oh,
was
okay. Yeah.
thinking, this is the coolest thing ever. I have to steal this car from my buddy because he's just wasted on it and he doesn't drive it. And I love him, and he knows I've said that. But that was really it. And then I was like, man, what can I do to kind of embody the feeling of driving a 1950s Cadillac at 15 miles an hour, but it feels like 1,000. And first thing I came up with was that bass line, do 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 do, right? And that was on a synth. So
Oh.
I sat there in front of GarageBand with a synth for about 8 days, just coming up with top lines. And on the other side of that was Cadillac. And pretty much the first demo is exactly how it finished at the end. Like, not
Oh,
much
wow.
changed.
Very cool. Well, let's get into the music video like you talked about. Where did you film the mansion scene part at? You
So
know.
it was in Greenwich, Connecticut, and it's this massive house. It's so cool. There's like a movie theater in it. Like we didn't even film with like a quarter of the house. I mean, there's like
Yeah.
secret tunnels and stuff. It's crazy. The house is nuts. And the garage was a little smaller than the car, so it started to rain at one point, and we had to park it in the garage, like angled. It's the only way we could fit it because it was just so big. So the house was great. It was really cool. And there was one shot that we didn't get, and unfortunately, it's because the car died. We wanted to do a shot where the car is rolling up to the house, and you're kind of following the car up to the house, and there's like the big reveal of the house. So what happened was, I backed the car up to the end of the driveway, and it's a long driveway because it's a mansion. So I mean, it's like a quarter-mile driveway, and we're getting the camera set up, and we're waiting for the light to be right because we were shooting outside in the middle of the day. And I go back to start the car, or I think I left the car running, and I went back, and the car's no longer running. Right? It's not like
Ah.
it ran out of gas because we filled it with gas, and we're trying to start it, and it's just not starting. And then we brought another car over. We tried jumping it wouldn't start. So in the time that we took to get this car started, which was about an hour, We lost the light and we couldn't do that shot. So that's my one regret. So we didn't get that shot. But we got so many other great shots, and the real highlight of that video is the animation anyway.
Absolutely.
And I believe the number was 800 hours of animation, because it had to be all done in 3D first and then like layered over it. I'm not an animator, so I don't know, but it took a monumental amount of time, and I think it came out cool.
Oh yeah, very cool. I love design. Did you guys pick your animals you guys got to turn into, or?
So yes. So I'll answer that real quick. So here's kind of how it worked out. So what gave me the idea of this whole video in the beginning, obviously the song is about stealing the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like we could steal the car, right? I mean, we could. It's not like we could steal the car and then go on a police chase and drive it off a bridge. We couldn't do all that stuff.
Yeah.
We just don't have the budget for that. Maybe someday. But I knew it had to be animated if we were going to tell that story. But if it was just directly us animated, I'm not sure it would be the same. But I didn't know what style it should be. And then one day I saw it was like a cartoon tattoo style thing, like a 1960s type drawing of like a big reptile thing. It could have been like a crocodile or an alligator, or like, I don't know, just like a big green thing driving this hot rod with the engine sticking out and the big tires in the back spinning like this. It's just like big muscle, and he's angry and he's ugly and he's got tattoos and stuff. And I was like, oh man, that's absolutely the vibe of the song. So I sent that to the animator, and I was like, I'm thinking convertible, crocodile, long nose, and sunglasses because it's cool as hell. And obviously that has to be me, because I'm the lead singer. But we had to come up with animals for the other two guys. So as far as the other two guys go, Tom, who is our drummer, he's a tomcat. Obviously, he had to be a cat. Plus, he kind of looks like that. His hair is just like a little bit like this.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And as far as James, so James plays the bass. I wanted him to be a bass, like a fish.
Ah, gotcha.
But that didn't really look great, so he ended up just being like a different kind of fish. But the fish idea started from him being a bass player.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened, and that's where the animals come.
I love that. Actually, my favorite shot involves, I think it was the bass, where the cars are going up the bass, and then he puts the finger down and crashes the police cars. Like,
oh my god, yeah, that's my absolute favorite shot. And by the way, the bass in that shot is very cool. We found that in Nashville when we were playing a couple shows out there. It's a 1971 Music Master bass. It's really cool. We wanted to use it on the record, but it wasn't working quite right on the day that we did that song. But it is on a bunch of other songs, but it's not actually on that song. I think we used it in
the music video. That's cool.
It is in the music video, yeah. It just looks really cool.
Awesome, man. So you guys, this single just got released. Anything in the works you're allowed to talk about before I let you go?
Sure. So our next show, really exciting, is going to be in 10 days in Vegas, which is really cool. We're driving down there in a van, and we're gonna play a set at the Gathering.
Oh, cool.
And then we have a couple shows in New York when we get back. There will probably be consistent releases every like 2 months, another single, things like that. I think the album will probably come out in September or October, but ultimately that's not up to me. That's up to the label. You know how it goes. Like with this song, they gave me a phone call. They're like, hey, song's coming out in 2 weeks. Go promote it. I was like, okay. So that's just how it is, man. It's a quick moving world. So I'm not sure exactly on a date yet, but it will be before the end of the year. And as far as our social medias, I mean, anywhere you think to find us, Instagram is cool. We just started doing the whole TikTok thing. We're trying not to be idiots about it. We're trying to have it be actually cool. So
yeah, me too. You
can let us know if you think it's cool, because it's hard, you know, because I'm not like a TikTok kind of guy. I'm like, you know, I'm just like a vintage guitar and like, you know, listen to records kind of guy. So whatever. We have that as well. We have a website, kingfalconband.com, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that other stuff. Anywhere you think to look, we're probably there. So that's my whole thing.
Well, keep up the amazing work, man, and we'll talk down the road, all right?
Steve, thank you so much. Really appreciate you.
All right, man. Take care.